You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Mother, oh God, mother, blood.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Okay, happy Mother's Day to everyone. This is actually, yes, it's Sunday, May 8th. So I don't know if it's always the same every year at Mother's Day. So I wasn't going to do anything. It's like going on, it's 2:30. So I honestly was not going to do a radio show, but it was like, you know what? Screw it, I'm going to do one anyway. Because but deep down inside I'm thinking, okay, well, this proves this guy is a real, he's very... against women. I'm trying to think of that word because I was accused of being that before, a misogynist or something. And it's like, no, I'm not. So it's like, just to prove the fact I am going to do a Mother's Day. I actually bought, a lot. My mother and my dad just came home Friday night from down Jersey Shore. And, it was like, wow, it's kind of tough for me because it was like also... I just got back from a couple days. Now, I'm going to take next week. I'm going to go down. It sucks. There's a convention down in Jersey. They actually called me. That must be how desperate they are for people to attend the Jersey Shore one in Atlantic City, because they actually physically called me and wanted to check out if I was going this year. And there's like some pretty cool guests, actually. There was this one Latino chick who plays on Daredevil, the nurse who always patches Daredevil up from the Netflix series. It's like, oh my God, I'd love to meet her. She's really hot. Plus, she's really cool looking too. She just seems like a cool character. I wish they would have developed her. Second season, they didn't do much with her, which kind of pissed me off. So, yeah, that being said, it was like, wow, she's going to be down there. I don't have that kind of money, though, right now. I should probably eventually. That's another thing, by the way, I'm supposed to get, if we agree, our people at my job agree on the contract that the company had surmised for us. We're supposed to actually get a sign-on bonus of a hefty amount, which I'm not going to say how much. But I also mentioned the actual amount to very few people, which is like my parents and two friends. And, the problem with that is I guarantee you they're going to be like my best friend when they find out when the money actually would come through. Oh, Walter, can I borrow X amount of dollars? Because that's always what happens. You find out you're true friends because they got their hands open and their pockets empty. No offense. And it's like, and they always say, well, hey, I would have helped you out. And they've helped me in the past, but financially, I'm not quite sure if they would go that far. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But, a friend in need, they always say, is a friend indeed, and there was a reason that is said. And as my dad would say, actually, I'm afraid I'll do this, but I'm going to try to be very cautious on how I spend whatever I get. I read online that if you get a company... What do you call it? I got to turn this off now. I didn't even know I had that on. If you get a company bonus or something, they said the most that the IRS can tax you is 25%. And I was like, okay, now is there other areas like local taxes you still got to pay? I mean, is it going to add up to what I expected it to be or I thought it was, which is 40%? Because that would really suck. 25%, I can actually kind of maneuver and pay some bills off. Actually, I don't have any bills at this point. It's more loans, and I would be able to pay one off in its entirety because I don't owe too much money. That's why I'm questioning that. I might, I joked about it yesterday that might take a vacation I've always wanted to, but on the East Coast, nowhere drastic. It's going to cost me billions of dollars. I'm being sarcastic, but something locally. Actually, I have to, maybe right now I should do this. I figured why I would do a Mother's Day show. It's like, wait a minute. It just dawned on me when I was on the shitter. I'm not even joking. It was like, wait a minute. Wasn't there like a lot of horror movies based upon mothers and stuff? And it was like, wait a minute. There was. Like, my favorite horror movies were all based upon psycho moms. So I was like, but no puns intended. I love the films, but I just didn't realize was like how many films there were. So I tried to like dig through, and I couldn't really find, but I think this is a close one to get. There's like at least 11. I know there's more than 11 from Bloody Disgusting, and I don't even know how accurate it's going to be because I just posted it up now because I'm trying to, one I actually totally forgot about, which was my all-time favorite scared a shit out of me movie. But yesterday, folks, I actually did a podcast and I was talking about Kevin Smith in that film. I mean, I don't get many listeners. Like yesterday, literally, the listeners I had were all me. I can tell too. I mean, it's not that hard to know, that it's me because, every time I click, I see my thing go up. So, hey, it's no brainer. So, that being said, I did 3 hits yesterday. Because actually, it's funny. My equipment now, my Apple laptop and or Apple computer, even the laptop probably, and I'm trying to think what else. Apple laptop, Apple computer, and a couple other things. They actually, my Star Wars laptop. They actually link very well to my Wi-Fi Bose speaker set, like very, very nicely. So it's great because then I can actually listen to myself, make sure I did everything okay after the show's done. I mean, that's after the fact, unfortunately, but it's still, I can do that. So, what was I going to say, though, on that matter? Oh, yeah, I was talking about that I had seen, I had seen the movie that Kevin Smith did. It was called, what is it called? Cop Out. And I said it was the most horrendous movie I've ever seen. And I couldn't remember, I don't know how many times that I could screw up, possibly, but I did successfully. Possibly how many times I could screw up Bruce Willis's name. Because I called him, if you listen to it yesterday, I called him, Will Smith and some other names. It was like, okay, I dodged his bullets, or not even dodged it. I got hit by the bullet. I don't know. But I got it wrong so many times. It's like people are probably, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Because I just messed up over and over again. Oh, so this lady's got some really cool stuff on her Facebook page. I get very easily distracted. I do it to myself, like I said. Now, today was a horrible day. I got up late. Not much later than I normally do during the week because I work second shift. But I did get up a bit late. And that being said, because I got up late, I was like, okay, it was so crowded with people everywhere. I mean, I couldn't drive anywhere without somebody being an idiot and driving right into me. I mean, it was driving me fucking nuts today. So, like, I even just go over to this Acme Market right around the corner from the house, and I don't know how many times I possibly just got hit. And by people not paying attention, it was like, what is going on today? It was really aggravating. And I go in the Acme Market because I wanted to get I think I wanted to get my mom like a gift card, and I saw they had cards in. Everybody was getting cards yesterday. I was like, I'll just wait till yesterday to get the card, and I did. And it was just like people walking into me. If you try to dodge one person, you have another person walking directly into you. And it just got to the point after a while, it was like, I just want to go back home. I just left the house at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I'm already ready to go home. So that was a disaster. And then I had to go into Home Depot to get, like, I needed a different place, but I went to Home Depot because I wanted to get, extension cord now that I have this thing that if people are home in the house, I can put this sign up, a neon sign. It costs like literally only a couple bucks because I had enough eBay dollars. I basically paid like literally nothing for it. And that was really cool. But I needed an extension cable, so I bought like a cheap one for $2-3. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's brand new. I'm like very kind of anal. I love to spend money, but I anal about just getting things that are new. So yeah, I did that. I went to Home Depot, and then I saw this flower. It was a rose, actually, a little mini rose, yellow roses, which was actually my mom didn't realize what it stood for. I actually didn't realize until I had taken it out. You know what yellow stands for? That means love, which is probably appropriate for your mother if you're not taking it the most inappropriate way, which most people would. Because there's movies on that, too. You know, horror movies on that. What do they call that? The Oedipus complex. So, no, trust me, it's not the case with my mother. She's not that way. I mean, I'm not that way with her, I should say. So, I was being a real bastard. It was funny. There's this app you can get for your phone where you basically, I didn't know you could do it to other people, but you put like goofy faces on yourself. Like you take a picture and it draws like makes your face look like a zombie or Batman or like these other ridiculous characters or like a monkey face. So we're eating out tonight, me and my parents and I, and it was like, wow, wait, you can actually reverse the camera on the cell phone. I have an Apple. And you can make those faces on other people. So I was having a field day with my mother and my father, just making them look like ridiculous, like a monkey face and some other goofy stuff. So, yeah, I was having a field day with that. I'm just, some places I refuse to grow up. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help it. Being a dick to my parents is one of them. So, wow, that's pretty cool. It's Lindsay Wagner. I guess she was some promo thing for Bionic Woman. She was really hot back then, too. I think she's still really adorable. So anyway, I'm actually on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook right now, so that's a change for me. So I already got myself so distracted, I already forgot what I was talking about, amazingly. But I go into Acme, and I'm just, like, really annoyed. Then I go into Home Depot, I get, the extension cord, some other things. And then it was like, I even had a problem there. And it was like, okay, I'm going to get my hair cut. I didn't realize right over, it was near Acme Market. Acme Market. What am I saying? I was at Acme Market. See, I'm doing it again. Walmart down in Trooper. Right next door is the Home Depot. And then right next door to there, I didn't realize, but I had there was Great Clips. I think, no, it was the other one, Super Cuts. And I was almost really leery to go in there, like my spidey senses, no puns intended, were telling me don't go in there because there was two women, a heavyset white woman and a black lady, and they were both smoking, so their hands smelled like cigarette smoke. My hair smells like cigarette smoke from getting them to cut my hair. The one heavyset chick cut my hair, and she did a okay job. It's like my hair hasn't grown in like it normally does. I get it cut like every other week anyway, but I wasn't too satisfied with my last haircut. I told her, hey, listen, can you just go to like a skin to fade? And I said the barbers I go to generally will do that for me. And she's like, well, we're not barbers, we don't have the same clippers. It's like, no offense, you actually do, you just don't know how to fucking use them. So she did it was an easy cut because my hair is actually getting thinner and thinner. I don't know why, it's obviously hereditary, but, and I think it's stress too, a lot of fucking stress. So it's just like, okay, I just want it as short as, I used to have my hair really, really long, not really long, but for me it was really long. Like my bangs, the rest of it was short, but I had one of those deals because I used to love that haircut style where you let your bangs grow so long you could actually put the hair in your mouth. Like a couple times when I was younger, this is no joke, I would whip it in my eye socket, my hair, because the bangs were so fucking long. So now that my hair is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and it's like in one spot, it's like in a weird spot. It's not like directly in the back of my head. My hair has thinned out, but I got this on the side of my head. It looks like I went for chemotherapy where my hair is just like thinned out so badly. It looks like that somebody with a lawnmower basically put dug up the grass on the lawn kind of thing on my head on the one side. It's in an awkward spot. It's actually where I used to have a cowlick in my hairline. Now it just basically, the hair has been continuously falling out and really bothers me. Like was so desperate to get a hair transplant just in that area. It's like, but I heard those look really nasty unless you pay a lot of money and just get a weave job, and those grow out because my hair grows fast enough in that perspective. So I can't win. I mean, I can't afford to get hair weaves. I'd rather get a hair transplant, but I can't afford that. And plus, there's nobody around here. There used to be places that actually did hair restoration. They no longer exist. So, I tried that laser, and that woman was a real witch, the receptionist. So, like, there's no fucking way. I gave you, like, I would say in all, I probably gave them, like, $250, $300, maybe $500 for those couple visits I made, because they were $50 a time, and I did it for a couple months, and the woman's receptionist, her attitude did not get any better. It's like, fuck you, I even have pride, despite myself losing my hair, it getting thinner. I have pride still, and my pride is not to give you fucking money to treat me like, a piece of dog shit. I get it enough from everyone else. I say that every fucking show. So it was like, when I told her, most times when you say, hey, I'm not coming back, these places will call you because, they don't want to lose the business. But guess what? That lady was so happy. It was so obvious. She was so happy, this receptionist, to get rid of me. Now, I'm surprised. I'm sure I can just feel it in the future that there was one woman to actually, she's one of the people who actually, works on making at this hair restoration place. Well, it wasn't her hair restoration place. It was something else. Hair replacement, like wigs and shit. The one woman who actually worked on, fixing older people's wigs that came in there and shit like that, she was really nice to me. She always would, like, make small talk to me and talk to me. A nice older lady. And she said, oh, my son has the same problem you do, and I told him he should be going, try to nip it at the bud before the hair gets any thinner. So I have a feeling in the near future, or probably farther down the line, that I'll see this lady, because, it's around here, and I guarantee you that she'll probably even say, hey, what happened to you? Why didn't you ever come back? And I'll be honest, where I'll say, you know what? I like going there. It was getting a little expensive, and I guarantee you, if I say this is my guess, and I tell the lady the truth, it's like, well, listen, this receptionist was not very friendly, and I just felt like, why waste my time? She always was kind of a little bit nasty to me. I guarantee you that she'll say that, oh yeah, she was kind of like that with other people, but we can't get rid of her, probably because she's probably family related. Like, the only job she'll ever fucking get is working at a place you can treat people like shit and never get fired for. Just lose customers. That's about it. But I feel that's going to happen, by the way. I really do. Because it seemed like the other people that worked there, they were always pretty friendly. It was just this one receptionist. Like, how did she fucking get this job? Now, if it ever comes down to it, that they get rid of her, and I had some extra cash, yeah, I'll definitely go back there again, if it's worth my time. But right now, it's just not worth it, because I can't deal with, I have enough. I think she helped me lose my hair more than anything else because of her being so arrogant. Just, I get easily stressed. So not what I wanted to talk about today. It is Mother's Day, so I wanted to kind of make what I enjoy, which is horror movies, and kind of reflect it into Mother's Day, because there's a lot of movies out there like that. So here I go again. Like I said, I go on, left field, or whatever you want to call it, in a different direction. I always do that. I never fail with that, at least. I'm always really good. So, and I'm still distracting myself. I can't stop. I'm just as bad. I get really pissed when people just, there might even be with their boyfriend and girlfriend, and their heads are buried in their fucking cell phone. And it's like, well, what are you looking at? You're not looking at numbers. You're looking at social media crap. And it's like, what am I doing right now while I'm doing a podcast at 3 o'clock in the morning? I'm looking at social media. So basically, yeah, I am a hypocrite, but I'm allowed to be so, because it's my show. So anyway, yeah, there was the thing with Kevin Smith, too. I think I got that clarified now, that I did fuck up. I called Bruce Willis every fucking thing under book because I was saying, oh, yeah, Will Smith was really pissed off at Kevin Smith, and I actually called Bruce Willis at one point. I probably think I just messed up now, too. It's amazing. I don't stop messing up. I even think I called Bruce Willis at one point Kevin Smith. I was like, no, Kevin Smith was the director, and Will Smith was not in the film, and there was some I just made one mistake after another. It was a disaster, but at that point it's like, you know what, it's like that show I did, like I mentioned a couple nights ago, that you make a mistake, you're doing a live edit, you can go back and kind of blurt it out, cut it out, like nip it off, because I actually could do that, but it's just like, is it worth it for the 5 and maybe possibly once in a blue moon I get up to 18 people? Is it worth it? Not really. Because you got to remember, 18 people is out of 5 billion people. So, yeah, in existence. Because, this goes over, I'm trying to think of the right word, but over, the internet, which goes everywhere. Not just the intranet, it's the internet. It's everywhere. So is it worth me to cut out something I accidentally said that actually only less than a grain of salt is listened? Sugar, salt. I'm getting it wrong every time. Let me try this again. Is it worth editing something out that basically less than a grain of sand on a beach is listening to? Like, it's like next to nil. Well, you could always get that one person, Walter, who will listen in, make a big deal, and then you're going to find yourself in a lawsuit. I seriously doubt that will happen. Not to the extent most people would take. Now, everything else I take so seriously, and people say I should not, this would be something somebody would take extremely seriously. So it's like, well, you can't tell me not to take things seriously, but yet then you're telling me to take things seriously. So it makes no sense to me as well. Enough of that. I'm just kind of curious. I figured that's what it was. I seen something on this horror Twitter thing, which I don't even know if I'm part of. I'll just put follow because it's all Halloween theme things. I will go back to my Facebook. So anyway, I just figured, okay, once again, I want to do, a Mother's Day thing, but I want to do something like thinking of like horror movies. I'm trying to think, okay, I love horror movies. I just like love horror movies. My one friend that I talk about a lot, Derek, loves horror movies. So it was like, okay, but yeah, it's Mother's Day. There's not as many, believe it or not, for Father's Day. There's no, you never heard of, I think there is one made called Father's Day, but there actually is a horror movie from like the 80s called Mother's Day. So for some reason, the movies about mothers is a little bit more. Now the top, it says the 10 craziest horror movie mothers, and this is on, again, Bloody Disgusting. I don't even know if I added it. I will now just be added twice if, and I'll tweet it as well. Is the first one I totally forgot about was, believe it or not, was Carrie. It was like, that should have been the one that stuck on the top of my list. Now, what I thought of was like Psycho and Friday the 13th, because the original Friday the 13th, it was about the mother doing all the murders. The movie, even though it was Norman Bates, it was Norman Bates who was basically in love with his mother and ended up killing her, and then personality-wise, he became his mother. He really thought it was his mother. So technically, yeah, that was number 2 on the list. So I was good on that one. Wouldn't even hurt a fly. That's why I had to put that in there. And again, I did say this, and it's Mother's Day. They must have remade the movie because it was an older film, but it's Mother's Day, and it says 2010. So obviously it was a remake from the original one, or one that just used the same name. Then it says The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Never even thought about that one. Yeah, so there was that one. And then it says Serial Mom. That was a comedy horror movie. Didn't think about that one. And again, I said Carrie already. So, Vera Cosgrove, Dead Alive. Now, I don't know if Vera Cosgrove, if her daughter is Miranda. I did see Dead Alive with my friend Matt Torrance years ago. Which, by the way, was this horror movie I was looking for. And it's an Australian horror film that they said was really bad, but I ordered it because I can't find it. I can't rent it anywhere. So I ended up getting it on Amazon. It was called, let me see, it's right here. Because it's getting shipped out. Body Melt. And they compared it to Dead Alive. Now, people may not notice, but Dead Alive, believe it or not, was actually done by the same guy who does your lovely films. I'm going to have to go back to that one probably. But those like Hobbit movies and stuff, that guy, I can't remember his name. He also, his very first film was actually Dead Alive. So maybe you didn't know that. Now you do. And I could check out. It's not that important to me. Now, I bought this film and I never watched it. Here's the next one. It's Black Swan, which I know Natalie Portman was in there. And I think she was like, she is still. She's really hot to me. But Natalie Portman is in Black Swan, but there's a mother in that film that, because I know a friend saw Black Swan. He said that movie was just really screwed up. He said, yeah, that's a really good film. So I got it one time. It was in like a dollar bin at Target, brand new, literally a dollar bin. So I was like, dude, I'm going to get this film because I heard so much, good about it. Like, it's a good cult classic film with Natalie. And Natalie Portman's a really good actress. So, and then the next one, it says Pamela Voorhees from Friday the 13th. So I was right on the money with that one. It says Other Mother is Caroline. It's that, Tim Burton movie. I think it's Tim Burton. That cartoon kind of animated movie. Yeah, Caroline. I wouldn't have put that in my mix. And it says An American Crime, which I never had seen that movie. I never even heard of it. So there you go. There's all the movies that they had posted, at least on that one. I always thought there was a lot more you can go into. But again, I wanted to make this theme about, horror movies with mothers, and there is plenty out there. Actually, that trilogy of movies that I said, that was from Italy. That's probably why they did not put that in there. I'm looking like just through Google, and it says Goodnight Mommy official trailer. So there you go. There's another horror movie. But no, the one that used to scare me, Suspiria, was based upon a main witch that was a mother. And actually, I think one of the movies in the list, the trilogy of films, Suspiria being the first, was one called Mother of Tears. So there you go again. Another horror movie. That one was in Italy that was based upon, mothers. So again, I'm trying to keep that alive, this theme. So let me see. I'm going to open up another thing and see. Peter Jackson, that's who it is. Peter Jackson actually did Dead Alive, so I don't have to look it up. I can continue on. Oh, I forgot about this one. The Babadook, even though The Babadook was an Australian film, and it really wasn't that the mother was the theme of horror, it did pertain a mother in a horror film. So there you go again. I'm looking through some other lists. 10 of the worst horror movies, moms ranked by awful. Mother's Day, which I don't know. I think I actually did mention it, but this is the original one was like, again, it was 80s. It might have been in the 70s. And it does say Babadook. I just mentioned that. So this is a different one. This is from Cinema Blend. Okay, the Vera Cosgrove. Again, I'm kind of curious about that. Now, maybe this Cosgrove is just a common name. Debbie Salt in Scream 2. Didn't know about that. Again, the Serial Mom. I don't know if I mentioned that. Did I mention Serial Mom? Somebody's going to just be repeated because Friday the 13th. Mommy. Rosenberg. Oh, People Under the Stairs. I forgot about that one, too. It was an awful film. That's probably why. A movie called The Brood. That's another Mother's Day horror movie. And there we go again with ones I mentioned, like Carrie. And number one on this one from Cinnamon Blend is actually saying that, which it should be, was the one on Norman Bates or the original Psycho. So it's amazing. Like I said, most of the horror films I watched were had the main character of some sort of the word was actually with a mother. Now, here's some other ones, because I did put it on the Google search about mothers. Straight Jacket, 1964. The Baby, 1973, which I didn't see. That was Joan Crawford in the one. Now, The Baby I did see because I heard a lot about it. I totally forgot about that one, too. Frightmare, 1974, another one. It says if Norma Bates' mother were alive and as psychotic as he is, she turned out like a monarch or something. But it was put in the list of movies, though. Carrie, obviously. Friday the 13th, again. Mother's Day. The original one, though, not the 2010, but 1980. I told you. There's a movie from 1991 actually called Mom, and it's a horror. One of these bad things like with the big werewolf-looking monster kind of things, but not a werewolf. It says, in this cheesy horror comedy, a man discovers that his elderly mother had been bitten by a mysterious boarder and turned into a cannibalistic creature who undergoes a werewolf-like transformation. So I hit that one right on the head. People Under the Stairs. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive makes it once again on another list. So, and there's another page. God, I could just do a whole show about this. Here's one from 94, Mother's Boy. And it has Jamie Lee Curtis when she was still like, oh my God, I got to jerk off to her. Jamie Lee Curtis is like the coolest person you can meet, I would think. But she aged pretty badly. Not like her mom. Her mom aged pretty gracefully. Jamie Lee Curtis, for some reason, she didn't age too well. But when she was like in her younger age, she was like really hot. She even made those aerobic, I think, videos. I don't know. But if she didn't, I was still doing aerobics myself, if you get my drift. So here we go. Here's another one, though. I haven't even heard of half these films. I thought I saw all the horror films. Mommy. I swear to God, it's called Mommy. 1995, Patty McCormick, who portrayed an evil little girl in 1956 Killer Kid pick, The Bad Seed returns as an evil adult in a low-budget Mother's Day film. So there you go again. I mentioned this one before, 1997, Scream 2. It was an excellent movie. Movie called Hush, 1998, another movie pertaining to, I guess, a mother. The Girl Next Door, 2007. Inside, 2007, a wannabe mother tries to take an unborn child of an unexpected mother by any means necessary. So there you go, another mother movie. These are all movies about mothers. I haven't heard of any of these, by the way. Baby Blues, 2008, another one. The Woman in Black, never saw it. I heard a lot about it. That was 2012. Mama, I forgot about that one. 2013. There we go. See, I'm doing a whole show on Mother's Day. Goodnight Mommy, 2015. That was a sequel, I think, to Mama, if I remember correctly. I don't know. So I didn't think it was going to be this easy, but again, there's a lot of films I just overlooked too. Now I got one from Canada. Once again, this is one from a Canadian website. Maybe because they're thinking the same way I am. Wait a minute, it's Mother's Day. Why don't we do web pages? Obviously, I'm not the only one who thought of this, on horror movies pertaining to mothers. So you got this website actually is called 13 Horror Movies to Watch on Mother's Day. Straight Jacket, once again. It looks really interesting because what do you call it's a really good actress. Joan Crawford, that woman is incredible. And she was really hot when she was younger. Psycho again. Mother's Day Massacre. There was one I did miss. Frightmare, might have mentioned, I'm not sure. Carrie, once again. Mother's Day. There's been so many movies with the same name, though. Mommy Dearest. Now, that was a classic. I don't know if I mentioned Mommy Dearest before, but that's a classic movie. People Under the Stairs. The Girl Next Door. Serial Mom. Some of these are going to be repeats. Rosemary's Baby. Totally forgot about that one. That slipped my mind, honestly. So there we go again. I mean, it's going to probably be short. And by the way, before I go any further, I was going to go see, and I still refuse to see because I'm more on Team Superman and Batman. The Avenger movies are cool, but there are for dedicated fans of those comic books of the Avengers. I don't read comic books. I get very bored, honestly, by the Avenger movies. And the Captain America, it says Captain America in the title, but honestly, it is not a Captain America movie. It's an Avengers movie. Captain America's in there, but it's an Avengers movie, so I'm going to wait a while before I go see that. So I'm going to go into BuzzFeed now. They have some more movies on there. BuzzFeed Entertainment. Of course, number one has to be Friday the 13th. It's a toss-up between Friday the 13th and Psycho. Rosemary's Baby again. Aliens. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Ripley had a kid in one. So they're kind of... actually, in one of the Alien movies, Ripley was some type of mother, I do believe. The Shining, I totally forgot about that. That's like, hey, I should have came to the top of my list. The Shining, one that is a classic with Derek, my friend Derek, and I totally forgot about this one. Nightmare on Elm Street. There was, the mothers and the parents did kill. Another movie was called It's Alive. A movie that is pertaining to a mother with her monster offspring. Actually, Basket Case then would be in there too, probably. Psycho, once again. Here we go. I said this one. It did make it to this list on BuzzFeed. The Mother of Tears. That movie was really, really gruesome, though. I'll tell you right now. Because I saw that. I saw the trilogy of the movies pertaining to Suspiria. And Mother of Tears was one that I actually did kind of have to turn away from. It was pretty gross. Mother's Day, once again. Scream. It just says Scream, not even Scream 2 this time. It just says Scream. I don't know why. So there you go again. More movies to watch on Mother's Day. And that had some. And there's another BuzzFeed link with actually 12 movies. Again, somebody's going to be repeats. Mama. Straight Jacket once again. And Black Swan once again. Frightmare once again, Psycho once again, Mommy Dearest once again, Scream 2 once again, People Under Stairs once again, Mother's Day once again, and Serial Mom once again. The Brood once again, Friday the 13th once again. So I didn't get anything new off of this one. The remake, actually, of Carrie, which I didn't think about, obviously has Julianne Moore playing the mother. Now, Julianne Moore is like ultra hot, so... there's not much more to say about that one. 10 scariest movies for working mothers. And this time it's off of workingmothers.com, 10 of the scariest movies. Once again, these are going to be, actually some new ones. The Babadook, I did mention that one before. The Conjuring, I did not. Paranormal Activity 3, did not mention. Insidious, I totally forgot about. We Need to Talk About Kevin. Never heard of it. Orphan. Now, that movie is kind of weird because the girl was actually a full-grown woman, the young girl. She was kind of cute, too. She was only like 12 years old, though, so don't get too excited. At the time, she's a lot older now. Let the Right One In. Excellent film, but they put that on that list. Joshua. Don't know why, but they did. The Orphanage. Never saw that. Rosemary's Baby, I did mention. So there we go. I got a couple out of this one. Working Mother, actually, it was called. Let's see. See if there's any new ones. Exorcist. Never thought about that. Exorcist. Yeah, that could actually go on that list. I did mention It's Alive, The Omen, because the demon child was born by the mother. Demon Seed was a movie. The Brood. A movie called The Guardian. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Did I mention it? I can't remember. Snow White, A Tale of Terror. Actually, Grace. I totally forgot about that. I watched that film. I didn't think it was that good. It actually got really decent reviews, was this movie Grace, about a mother who basically had a baby that was stillborn and everything, and it was like kind of like a vampire. She had to feed it blood, so this mother kept on killing people and draining their blood and feeding it to the baby to keep the baby alive. So I totally forgot about that one. I am moving on to a GQ.com website. It says, Goodnight Mommy, Not a Bedtime Story. So this one seems pretty freaky. Yeah, that's the movie called Goodnight Mommy. I did mention that. This goes in a little bit more detail about this mommy movie. So if you have mommy issues, this would be the place to go. Listen to iWalter because it's all about mother. Now I moved on to Hollywood.com, the scariest movies of all times. And it doesn't really read more. Okay, let's see. And actually, it's not shown. Margaret, okay, never mind. Margaret White was the person in the movie. And let's see. No, actually, really nothing. Oh, The Others. There's a film called The Others, and that had, let's see, because I like her, Nicole Kidman in there. There is another one with a mother in there that's a horror film. So there we go. I am actually still be able to kind of get some more mother-related films. But again, the ones that do really good are like Friday the 13th. They keep on reoccurring, amongst other ones. And Psycho, obviously. Now, this one's kind of weird. Number 2 on this list from the Artifact or something.com. Yeah, it's artifact.com. Besides the ones I've already mentioned. The Sick Mother Baby Blues. I already mentioned that one. Okay, maybe I did mention this. People Under the Stairs. Grace, I did mention. I thought I actually could get something different out of this one, but no. And once again, number 1 was Friday the 13th, because that was actually the one that really kind of got everybody going, was Friday the 13th. The original one. I like all the other ones. I'm not a big fan of the original one, but the rest of them with Jason Voorhees, I really like those. But you have to give homage to the original one just simply because that was the one that started the whole ball rolling to begin with. Looking at some other links, and again, it keeps on coming up, is The Babadook. My mom was frightened by this movie. I thought it was okay. I thought it was actually horrible, but my mom loved it so much, I decided at some point in time when it came out, I was going to buy it first, so I did. So I think I probably almost, at this point, I would say I actually did drain all the movies that were, actually, wait a minute, because this is on IMDb. Most popular featured films, Cloverfield Lane, but The Witch, 2015. What's The Witch about? It's about a female, probably maybe even a mother in some sort, wouldn't you think? The Neon Demon, I never even heard of that. So I'm trying to look for ones that possibly... There is the movie about the boy, which would have something to do with a mother, I think, right? Green Room, probably. The Forest, not necessarily. I'm just trying to kind of going through. There was that movie called Holidays. Kevin Smith did one in there. You know what? I can't remember enough. Crimson Peak. Possibly. Pride and Prejudice Zombie. I never even bothered to go see that movie. The Shining. Yeah, I did say that. That would be definitely The Conjuring. I did mention. They do have like Underworld... Blood Wars. Now, I did mention Aliens, and Aliens is technically really not... Now, here's one I forgot. My man, M. Night Shyamalan, he did the movie The Visit. Now, you're going to say, well, it's about grandparents, but what do you have? You also have a grandmother and the mother who drops the kids off at the house. So, yeah. Now, here's a film I just saw. I rented it, and I forgot about this one, too. Tale of Tales. I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty bad, but... It is out in the theaters now, and you could rent it, though, because it's like an art house film. And that one really was about a mother. So there you go. I forgot about that one, too. Trying to go through, because they do have a little bit of mixture of both regular horror movies and... Yeah, actually, you know what? Number 36, Kevin Smith's going to like this on this list of horror movies, is Yoga Hosers. It actually made it on this list, and Yoga Hosers has not been released yet, so that's pretty interesting. Final Girl, no, I doubt that would. So, yeah, I'm going through this list just in case I may have missed something on these list of horror movies. Yeah, Kevin Smith actually made it pretty impressively high on the first list of, like, probably I would guess of hundreds or 100 horror movies. Watching a film with Mum on Mother's Day, so I guess this one may be from England. Watching a film with Mum on Mother's Day, don't see these. And this is from theguardian.com. So, see, I'm looking for foreign films, too, if I can. Goodnight Mommy, 2014. I don't know. It looks like Mobius instead of Morbius. Mobius 2014. Not quite sure about it. Ma Marie, is that Ma Marie 2004? So there might be some ones that are from other countries. I'm going to go through the ones I haven't read. I'm Not Jesus Mommy 2010. So mommy's in at least a name. We Need to Talk About Kevin 2011. I did read that. Mother, Jugs, and Speed 1976. It's the name of a movie. Mother's Day once again 2016. If that actually was out, it probably went right to video. And that was from The Guardian. So now it does say .com. Usually any UK sites are going to be UK. So I think I could probably dig a little bit further and find some stuff. So by the way, I want to use for my picture for my show tonight, like my little caption. I found this one. I shared it on Facebook, but it's funny. It's this kid where obviously he's knocked out on the floor. He's got shit all over his hands. There's a shitty diaper and there's shit all over his room. Like he literally had taken a temper tantrum because his diaper was filled. So he smacks around his diaper in his picture, and it says Happy Mother's Day with exclamation points, 3 of them. So I saw that and was like, okay, yeah, I've already found my picture for Mother's Day. I'm actually already set. Let me see where I'm at on time. I'm actually almost at 46 minutes. I was able to talk about Mother's Day movies for literally, well, maybe because of the beginning, too, for almost an hour. So that's, hey, if I can get another 15 minutes, I got an hour show for Mother's Day. That's pretty impressive. And not doing any of my shitty stories yet. Hey, I saw a really cool picture, and it was with, it says silent majority for Trump, and it's actually, they've been a couple for so long. I'm trying to think. I'll have to put in Escape from New York to find out his name at least. Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell and his he's been dating the same woman for years, and I can't remember. Let's see, Goldie Hawn. I mean, they've been a couple for like decades now, and it's funny because they do like movies together and stuff. But yeah, there's something I found. Actually, this is no joke. It was on my Facebook page where both Goldie Hawn and I was going to say Donald Trump. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are raring that they are going to support Donald Trump like 100%. So that is actually really, really cool. Hey, by the way, for these Star Wars fans like myself, Rogue War is coming out the end of this year. And guess what, by the way? That's actually going to have, they said there's going to be a special appearance of Darth Vader in there. So that should be pretty cool. So it's going to be like a little bit of a crossover from like what the movies left out, I guess, to the new movies. So that's going to be really cool. By the way, another person that actually shared something from that is also, I think, in my opinion, is a Trump supporter is my man, Alan West. So I'm kind of glad to see that some of these people are actually supporting Donald Trump and not making him look like a total ass and like, why are you wasting your vote on Donald Trump? Because basically, Alan West, what he's getting pissed off about is like all these Republicans or who are saying, well, we're just going to sit out this time or we're going to vote for Hillary Clinton because they don't want Donald Trump. And it's like, well, you guys are a bunch of douchebags, but that's besides the point. So anytime I hear somebody who actually supports the man, I'm like right there. Wow, I don't have many stories actually because I'm looking at what I did last night. And that show lasted until like 6 in the morning, or 5 in the morning, so I don't have many stories. And by the way, it was funny. My friend Todd, he actually did text me, and he was like, tisk, 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 you texted me. I texted him fucking one fucking time, and he's flipping out. It's like, dude, if you hear a noise, I mean, is that slight noise of your phone going off or a text going to really wake you up when I only sent you one text and I caught myself? That's a little bit, I can't even think of the right word. I mean, dude, I love you, but that's a little ridiculous. I mean, that's beyond ridiculous. Oh, cool. My friend's mother, Debbie, put up more pictures of her son, Derek. So that's very cool. But these are baby pictures now. So I think the kid is so cool. Derek, he's got a lot of issues. This poor kid, I mean, God, his mom actually looks really different when she was younger. But yeah, the poor kid has had, problems his whole life. But I guess the thing that I worry about is, I hope that people will take care of this kid, if something, heaven forbid, would happen to his mom. Because that would just really hurt, break me apart if I would think that would not be the case. I'm just going through because honestly, I'm trying to get another 10 minutes out of this show, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. So it's going to be actually a really short show. But I'll tell you, I'm putting up some really cool stuff because right now people are putting up horror stuff, themed stuff, because I have a lot of people that are horror fans, on my Facebook page. So guess what I got? I literally got, a lot of stuff themed on horror for Mother's Day, like Psycho stuff being posted and everything. So that's pretty good. So, unfortunately, though, the bad thing is I may not have much more to talk about. I don't even think if I want to, it's going to be impossible for me to milk the next 10 minutes. And it's not even that long. That's the problem. But it's like physically it's impossible. I mean, one thing I could say, because I'm actually kind of anxious. I'll get it on Thursday, but I'll be down the shore. Oh, there is actually something else I did want to talk about. And I was like interested, but it's quite honestly, it would be kind of a waste of money. Not that I waste money. Yeah, I do. But yeah, it was like, oh wow, see my Jade Starlin thing. Oh, this is pretty sick. This is from the Daily Mail. I see. I find some interesting stuff. Daily Mail, but it was from Australia. A gruesome act just 41 minutes ago. Australian man left 2 pig heads on an Islamic central, I guess a place dedicated, even in Australia, I assume, and smeared the blood, the pig's blood, because they're against pork and stuff. Australian man stuck 2 pigs' heads. I'm gonna have to put this one up on an Islamic central, location. And let's see what else it says. And mosque, and smeared the base of the blood. A 46-year-old man was arrested in connection with the gruesome attack. Members of this is Islamic Central. He basically defaced some property in an area for Islamic people. So people are actually getting really pissed off about this whole deal. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm just kind of going through. If there's any more stories like that, I'm going to be I'm going to have to read these. No. I'm actually going through right now. Actually, I don't know. I didn't think about this, but it's not really a mother one. But somebody put up a poster picture of this movie called Hatchet, which actually Kane Hodder plays in. Now, Hatchet really is not a mother movie as much as a father movie, believe it or not, because Hatchet was about this father, single father who had a kid who was born like pretty much deformed. He was like literally deformed. So what happens in the gist of that story is the Hatchet guy, he actually basically spent his whole life was his father and son. There was no mother in the picture. And then what happens is some kids pick on this Hatchet guy when he was a little kid because he looked so different, and they set accidentally this kid lived in a shed with his dad, like a shed type place, and they set his house on fire accidentally, and the father tries to get the kid out of the house, the deformed kid, who was played by Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder actually is funny. He plays also the father. and they have some other actor play him, the little hatchet guy from some other actor. So anyway, so Kane Hodder tries to get his son out of the house, and what ends up happening, he can't get him out fast enough, so he basically uses a hatchet to break down the door, and he accidentally hatchets his son, the deformed kid, who doesn't die, but it devastates the kid, and he goes, he grows up to become Kane Hodder, and basically kills everybody by literally hatcheting him to death. So so it's kind of funny, but the bottom line is unfortunately I can't put that one in the list of mother movies, so I'm sorry. I wish I could. One thing I was going to say, this is pretty interesting. East Coast Comic-Con, but it says the Walt Disney Company makes Alan Bellman a cameo for the upcoming Marvel film. They put this up, though, East Coast Comic-Con. But they got this, cartoon or, comic book picture, from a comic book, obviously, of Captain America, punching out Adolf Hitler. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. That'd be, I just want that picture. It's really cool looking. So, share image. There's a way, on Apple, you can actually share just the image if you want to. So, I'm actually tempted to read this one, folks. Even though, again, it's going even further. In Marvel's film, Stan Lee makes cameos in unexpected moments, it says. This is on change.org. As well, as we all know, though, Stan Lee has been the founder of the Marvel Comics and one of the godfathers of the superhero franchise. I just thought it may be for a future Marvel film, possibly Infinity Wars, we should add a legendary Golden Age comic book artist, Alan Bellman, to make an appearance. I have no clue who the guy is. Alan Bellman has been a comic book artist during the Golden Ages. He worked in Timely Comics, now called Marvel Comics. I never knew that. So Marvel was originally called Timely Comics from 1942 to 1954. He worked on characters such as Captain America, the Patriot, the Destroyer, Human Torch, etc. He even made one of the most iconic comic book covers where Captain America punches out Nazi founder Adolf Hitler. So that's what I just said. Presently, he has been appearing at conventions, putting smiles on people's faces. So since we have superheroes on screen such as Captain America, Iron Man, and constantly Stan Lee cameos, I just thought Alan Bellman could get a spotlight for the upcoming films as well. This is what it states. So I guess I should really pretty much post this story on Twitter as well as Facebook. I'm going to see if I can get Twitter out of this mix. But what I was going to talk about, I was looking at my favorite store to shop because CompUSA closed down, which is Micro Center. And Micro Center, I every once in a while look at the Star Wars laptops because they actually are stopped being made now. You can't get them anymore. So if you didn't buy your Star Wars laptop, you're going to be pretty much screwed unless you get the ones that are left in the stores, because they're kind of winding down now of selling them on HP's website. Whatever's left is the last of the Star Wars laptops. So it's like I got mine for the sole purpose of, I wanted one, and, now I have one. So, hey, that's cool. I can't get the picture to open up on Twitter for some stupid reason. So, anyway, I'm just going to, I can not have to share it. So, it was like, okay, I looked tonight, and they have one. The one I really wanted to get, but it was just too freaking expensive, was a Star Wars laptop with basically the NVIDIA chipset in there. Okay, I did put it up, so I don't have to worry about that. This Marvel Comics story. I actually put it up twice. without even realizing it. So, I looked again, and the one you really want to get, if you want to get the best one, is you want to get the one that's the HP Star Wars laptop. Now, apparently there was a different with the casing. One was actually a metal case. One was just plastic. I got the cheapest one I could find. I got it used on, what do you call it? I got it used on eBay. So anyway, I'm looking, and it was like Micro Center had an open box one that is actually, unfortunately, everything's the same, but it has the NVIDIA chipset. I have Intel graphics, which, believe it or not, the Intel graphics is probably a little bit better of a buy if you want to buy the Star Wars limited edition laptop. I'm looking at right now, it's an open box, and normally it's about $800. Everything is exactly the same. I have the i5 core chipset in mine. This has that, but the only difference is it does have NVIDIA graphics in there. Now, NVIDIA, it make it run slightly better, but only for games and not even that great. So it is on sale. Normally it's about $800. It's an open box, so they knocked it down. It's been on sale because it's all on clearance, but for $524, which by most people's standards, oh my God, that's a lot of fucking money. But you got to understand, this actually does have the NVIDIA chipset, but the only thing is, it's exactly what I have minus a better GPU. So I was like going back and forth, like, wow, this is actually really tempting, but then I'm stuck because I got a 2-year warranty on the laptop I have now, the one I'm actually using to record my show. So they said the worst thing with the one I have, though, or the worst thing with the one with the NVIDIA chipset, not mine, is that your I'm trying to think of the right word. Your power to it, the power consumption, I keep it plugged in. When I'm going to do a show or do anything, the laptop's going to stay constantly plugged in. They said that the power consumption, because of the NVIDIA GPU in there, as opposed to the Intel graphics, will basically take power away from your system much quicker. Now, they did have, like, the i7 ones at one point at Micro Center. Those all sold out. They're not getting any more in. So what is left in their bunch, which one was an open box, so it really caught my attention, was they're both, all the same size, but the one was basically the i5 chip. They're only ones left. Now, the thing is, for the laptop, the way it's designed, they actually said the one I have is probably got the best setup because it's the least power hungry. I got my Star Wars limited edition laptop, but it actually is probably the most sensible one to run, unless you're going to run games. Now, I'm looking at the grandiose one you can get that they made for the Star Wars limited edition ones. Now, they don't sell those anymore. They used to sell those at Micro Center. They sold them out. They're not getting any more in because it's done with. The Star Wars thing is done. So if you have one, it's a collector's item at this point, which I was waiting for. But the grandiose one from HP was, everything else was the same, but it had an i7 core chip in there, 12 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drive, and the NVIDIA with 2 gigabytes chipset on the GPU, and it has a touch screen on top of it. That's even actually dropped from the original price, which I think originally was like $1,100-$1,200. It's down to $931 if you want everything under one unit. Trying to see if there's any difference between mine. Besides, I don't have the touch screen. I'm just kind of comparing mine to the one that's the grandiose one. But yeah, they're cool. And I basically did get it for collector reasons only. That was my whole purpose. Okay, I want this limited edition. I wasn't going to do it at first. Unfortunately, though, the one I got it when it was still really popular. At this point now, what I paid for the one I have is almost the same price I could have got one with the NVIDIA chipset. But the only difference is between the NVIDIA one and mine is that mine is actually a little bit less power hungry because the other one that has NVIDIA in there actually has a different I'm trying to look now. I could have actually got the one I got for like under $500. But it has a different power supply because it's not as power hungry, which actually does make a difference. Let me see if this one has i5 2.8, 8 gigs of RAM. I only have 6, but it honestly does not make that much of a difference. Graphics, coprocessor, integrated, Intel. Now, Intel, you're never going to play a game with the one I have. Trust me. But, hey, for podcasting and stuff, it's perfect because you don't need all that power. So I kind of almost basically, I did answer my own question. Do I really need this more powerful machine? Which it really isn't. The only difference is it has a different GPU in addition to the one. It still has the Intel one. But in addition to it, it also has the one, it says right here, a graphics card in this one that basically has NVIDIA. It says it has both NVIDIA GeForce 940 with 2 gigs of RAM, 2 gigs on the chipset. But in addition, because that's actually integrated onto the processor itself. That's why it's that way. You get the Intel HD graphics chipset that's integrated right onto the iCore 7 or 5, which is the HD graphics 520. It's the Intel graphics. See, they started doing that. The only other company that actually integrates graphics onto their processor is, because they bought out the company, was AMD, which you haven't heard about AMD actually at all any longer. But AMD actually did buy, or the company that AMD bought out, you don't hear about any longer, which was the Radeon, ATI Radeons. Well, ATI bought out, not ATI, AMD bought out ATI long time ago at this point. And the purpose of doing that is because they wanted to basically make an APU, is what it's actually called now, which is basically a CPU with a GPU all on one chipset, all on one processor. I mean, there's two different two things going on your processors. So AMD wanted to do this because Intel was talking about this for a long time, and then finally, AMD just decided to buy the competitor for NVIDIA for years, which was ATI. Then they just changed ATI altogether to, if you find a graphics card from them, it will no longer say ATI. It's going to say, and it would say Radeon, but it won't say ATI any longer. It's just going to say AMD, because they actually kind of closed down, I guess, making graphics cards at this point too. But but basically, it left NVIDIA as being a monopoly. Now, NVIDIA, though, needed that competition back in the day. They really did, because now that they don't have any competition, the amount of times they put out a new graphics card is very seldom compared to what they did in the past. Because in the past, they used to put out video cards like literally every 6 months. They put out a new graphics card. Now, no, it's not happening the way it used to. And basically the reason is because Radeon was out of the picture. Because those GPUs they make now are basically for their CPUs. So, yeah, so they could kind of basically not only, they kind of sliced the throat of ATI by doing that. And ATI, believe it or not, I think was a Canadian, no joke, but it was a Canadian based company, I think. It's kind of interesting. So, I'm still looking at the Apple Star Wars laptops, because the one I got actually, it did not come with the box or anything. The guy kept the box. He probably, what I always do too, he probably threw it out. So, but I'll tell you though, for basic use, if you're not like, ape shit, that's a term my dad would use. Hey, Walter, don't go ape shit with all that money you get. If you're not going to go ape shit on the laptop, you're probably best with what I got, because it's less power hungry. Let me see, number of cores, dual core processor. So the i5 has actually got dual core, but with hyper-thread internal, and so it acts as though it's got 4 cores. So I wonder what the i7 has. I got to check that out now. I didn't even think about that. If it's dual or i7, 8 gigs of RAM. Because they open box for $791. i7, 8 gigs of RAM at Best Buy. But I'm like actually kind of curious about i7 ultra low voltage dual core 4-way processing, maximum high speed efficiency to go, Intel Turbo Boost. So yeah, there's really not much of a difference, in my opinion, in the i5 and i7, because the i5 is only, like, technically i5 is quad-core with hyper-threading turned on, and i7 is generally, I think, a little bit more than that. So, but they're both only mobile, they're both basic because they're mobile chips, but they're also only dual core. So all you're getting is a different number, but not really much more. There's not much of a difference in this case on the i5, i7, because technically I think the i7, or I remember correctly, could have been an 8-core chip where the hyper-threading was turned on. So it was like, wow, this is really cool. So yeah, that's the biggest difference. Yeah, I'm still looking at these laptops, but then I read, I thought like they said, but it doesn't look that way. That one case chassis of the more expensive one was actually a metal case on the Star Wars Limited Edition. That kind of caught my interest. Nothing else actually did. I'll actually look at Best Buy's website. So I apologize, folks, because I didn't want to go this far into, hey, more for me to buy that I don't need. Because actually this has suit me very well. It's my PC laptop at this point. I'm still waiting for the money. The one guy at work was supposed to be buying, my friend and guy at work. He buys all these laptops off me I get rid of, and he hasn't given me money for the last one I sold or gave to him, literally. So it kind of pissed me off. It's like, dude, I know it's not worth much, but I'll take what I can get. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. But yeah, I do appreciate that you pay me for what you had taken off of me. I'm not, hey, I'm not giving out handouts, especially when he makes more money than I do by a large amount. It's not like he's, he's not in major debt from. It's like, hey, yeah, hey, Walter, I can't afford to give you the money I owe you. Really? But you have a job, so, and you make more money. He makes almost like $10 more an hour than I do, and his wife works there too. It's like, dude, you're not financially hurting, so it'd be cool. Now, I don't mean to be jumping because he probably didn't have time to go to bank on, playing the devil's advocate on Friday, so I'm hoping on Monday he'll give me the cash that he owes me, because it'd be, it'd be very much appreciated, to say the least. So, I'm sorry, I'm still going off, but yeah, I'm looking at the people who bought the grandiose, from Best Buy, laptop, and it's actually still pretty decent because, people are getting a little bit more bang for their buck. And some people put out actually pictures. But, yeah, so, but is it really worth it, though? That's the problem. Because it looks identical to what I have, and the stuff underneath the hood is not enough to, like, it's not screaming, Walter, you really need to buy this. So, and I already have. I got literally like 3 or 4 laptops still, even with the ones I gave away. Well, let's see. Yeah, I got about 3. One's a dinosaur. I just keep around for, it's an old, the original tablet PC. I just keep it for just nostalgic reasons. The Star Wars one was going to be a nostalgic one. But, yeah, but it hasn't. It's actually been very useful to me. So I'm just trying to check. With me, a few left in stock, 3. Yeah, they're actually selling out now. They're no longer to be around. There's a couple of places that actually have these Star Wars limited edition laptops in stock, and even the Best Buy, because they're going away. But they actually, for the most part, they got pretty good ratings. I'm looking at what people gave it out of 5. It was like 4.4. That's not bad at all. So yeah, I kind of go by this stuff. Anyway, folks, yeah, I mean, if you want a decent laptop actually from HP, they're making newer ones. If you're not like a big Star Wars fan, like I kind of am, you can actually get other HP laptops that are like on the same boat as in design as the Apple laptops, like ultra paper thin and stuff. They're starting to do that now. And honestly, I've had them in the past. I've had some really nice looking laptops from HP that really never had any problems. Still look it up. Well, Whitehall, PA. I've heard of that. Not even that important. But, yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, not important. My main theme tonight, I'm sorry, because now I'm actually way over by a little over an hour, which I try to get. Then I figured, well, I did have this. One thing I did want to talk about was about HP, the Star Wars laptop. Should I do it or shouldn't I? Well, my better sense is say, yeah, you really, Walter, you don't need another laptop. What you have is fine. So you can give somebody else more money. But seriously, it stays plugged in. I'm not doing anything spectacular. The horsepower for what I do. The only thing was I did have a problem that one time doing, a podcast. And unfortunately, it was that one with the guy who just passed away from the comic book man. And I did not have this problem when I used the next day doing interviews with these other comic book guys from the Comic Book Men show with my Apple laptop. But the difference was it was also a, besides Windows, one was Windows, one's an Apple laptop. It also did have a little bit more power underneath the hood. And it's actually an older machine, too. The HP was a newer machine. So, but it's very rarely. At home, I can do podcasts on this thing, and I've never had an issue. So, it's a toss-up. So, anyway, folks, I don't want to ruin people's Mother's Day, especially when you have to listen to me. So, I do hope that you enjoyed what I did. I think I kind of made something a little different. I hope it's, feasible for most people. Hope they enjoy what I did. And if you do enjoy what I'm doing, just try to get other people to listen in. I can use the extra people listening in to me. So thanks again. And it is like almost 4 o'clock anyway. So have a good one. Have a good Mother's Day for those mothers out there. Don't kill anybody. And just want to say, this is Walter from iWalter signing off for now. I apologize because I did go off for about almost 20 minutes on the HP thing. So thanks again. And go see, I guess, the new Avengers movie, Captain America. And also, Happy Mother's Day once again. This is all iWalter. And I am signing off for now.